Okay, I hope you enjoyed the Daybreakers. It's getting to be a regular occurrence, you know, as if you haven't already figured that out. But before I get on to the final test of Blue Thunder and what I think is going to be the tell-all for Blue Thunder in my .36 caliber, I want to discuss for a few minutes dry balling it like I did in the previous video, and what you can learn from dry balling your patched round ball. And it's not, pay attention, because you should be doing that anyways. What I'm referring to is, what does that tell you about the patch and the ball itself? Now, to set this up, the last deer that I took off the Manzano Mountains right here was with my 54 caliber 80 grains patched round ball. And I load that the same way I do all my guns. I take that ramrod and I firmly seat the ball on the powder charge. Now, because this is soft lead, one thing that it does do is it mushrooms that ball to get better land and groove engagement. You're not just relying solely on the patch itself to do the engaging. Okay? Because I've seen so many guys over the year take their ramrod and just kind of like just gently seat it. I'm not an advocate of that, obviously. If you can seat that round ball firmly like I do, you're also mushrooming it enough to ensure land to groove engagement, which we should all recognize improves in the accuracy. Now, I don't think the camera's going to fully pick it up, and I'm going to give you as much light as I possibly can here. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but if you can look at the edge of this round ball that I pulled out of that deer, you can actually see the pattern of the pillow ticking. Okay, and like I said, I don't know that it's going to pick it up. I'll give you a close-up of the face of it. The lighting ain't the best right now. It's early in the morning. In fact, it's even 30 degrees in my shop here right now. But if you ever have a good chance to recover a ball out of your game, look at it and see if you can see the patterns, the stitching patterns on your patch. And in this round ball, you actually can. Now, I was successful in pulling that round ball out of my long gun yesterday, and the patch stayed right on it. Now remember, this was one of the balls that I was having a tough time getting it to finally, break through that fouling ring. And there's the base of it. Let me turn the light again. I don't know how well. I probably should be doing this outside. Let me readjust and go outside. So I hope the sun reflecting on the bottom of it shows you the bottom of the patch is clean. Now, if you look at the sides of the patch, as it would be engaging the rifling, especially right here, you can see the fouling that's right here on the side of this round ball. But more importantly, if you can see it and the camera's picking it up well enough, look at the depth of the engagement of the rifling. You can actually see that imprinted on the patch itself. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I have not taken the patch off of the round ball yet, but something else that I do want to point out, when I talked about using an oversized patch, you can actually see the patch right here laying on top of what would be the jags that I use to seat the round ball. And don't look at the height right here, because this is what, you know, the screw produced trying to get this out of the gun barrel. But I'm going to pull away the pillow ticking, and then we can look at the ball itself and see the engagement, which you can see. I don't know how well the camera's picking this up, but I can definitely see the engagement of the patch to the ball, because the patching weaving is actually impressed on the round ball itself. So you can clearly see the engagement. Now, looking past what was pulled up from the screw, you can see a nice circle right around here from where that jag that I use in seating the round ball has made an impression, which has swelled this round ball out enough to get proper rifling engagement between the patch and the ball, because you can see the weaving impressed on the round ball. And in my opinion, that's what ensures good patch to round ball rifling engagement, which should make your shots a lot more accurate. So, and looking at the bottom of it, you can see, I don't know if I can show it this way, you can see that the bottom of that round ball is flat, but you can also see imprinted upon it the weaving of the patch. So you can actually learn quite a few things from dry balling that charge. So all right, let's get back on to the final testing of this Blue Thunder solvent / patch lube. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish here, my 36 caliber rifle, which is a Petrosoli gun except for the stock, it's Cabela's Blue Ridge mountain rifle. I did a video a couple years ago on this channel through my chronograph, and with 70 grains of powder I was getting over 2,100 feet a second. Okay, but that's not the purpose of this video, is because even when this gun was brand new with a 12 thousandths patch, I could only get maybe 5-6 shots before I'd have to run a brush down through it and clean out all of the fouling, and that was commercial black powder. Somebody suggested going to Pyrodex because it shoots a lot cleaner, and from that point forward I've shot nothing but Pyrodex out of this gun, because it allows me to have 10 to 12 loadings without having to brush the barrel. And that was with a spit patch, so you need to know that for the context. So what I'm looking to do this morning with the Blue Thunder, to see how many 12 thousandths patches and a 40 grain charge by weight of my homemade black powder. Now the black powder that I'm shooting is what I've had left over from all the testing that I've done. I put it all in the one container. I've shot it once or twice off camera, and it's dirty because it's like a blend of the Choya cactus, the barberry, and those other gunpowders that I deemed were dirty burning. So that's what I'm going to be testing in here. I'm not going to chronograph anything because right now I'm only interested in seeing how many shots I can get with a 12 thousandths patch and Blue Thunder before loading becomes really, really bad. So I guess I'll finish getting loaded up. I do have a target set up because I just kind of want to double check the accuracy. Just simply because I recently got my eyes re-examined and they changed just a little bit. So I want to double check that, and we'll just see how it goes. And also I'll be experimenting once again with my homemade percussion caps. Well, that wasn't too impressive. I might have to adjust the sights. Well, that shot went right, but it was right in line with the bullseye. But I will tell you this, on the way back, the patch was smoldering on the ground and it's completely obliterated by now. That's the first time I've ever seen one of my patches burning on the ground. Get reloaded and take another shot. This time I'm going to hold a little more to the left so I can at least see where she's printing. Okay, shot number 2. I will tell you, this one was hard loading all the way down. All right, let's see if I can make a quick adjustment with the sights. Well, actually, I'm going to just point the gun over to see where it hits. Well, I hit the bullseye just on the outer edge on the right side of the bullseye. I found the patch, and as you can see, shot right through it. And I aimed maybe about that far off of the bullseye. So I think I'm going to take a moment or two, adjust the front sight, and see if I can't compensate for that from here on out. So I decided just to hold up on that just a little bit. What I did is I did a static charge instead of settling it. Shot high, but I still aimed a little to the left of the bullseye. So now I'm going to make the adjustment. But once again, it was very difficult in loading, even with the Blue Thunder. And that's a 12 thousandths patch. And one other thing. I know this day and age, sometimes finding caps, percussion caps, is a little difficult. And you've got guys that are making them with their 3D printers. The first time I tested these caps that my friend Robert made with a 3D printer, I had some burn marks from the plastic hitting my hand. And the second shot, I experienced the same thing. So I would probably stay away from those caps. In particular, if you like me, you have a right-handed gun, the lock's on the right side, but you're shooting left-handed. Everything coming off of this nipple is going to come forward and hit you in the hand, whereas if you're shooting it, you know, a right-handed gun, you don't have that issue. So that's something for you left-handers that are shooting right-handed percussion guns to bear in mind if you're going to use those 3D printed plastic caps. All right, going to move the sight just a little bit, get reloaded, and keep going. So just to emphasize, that's as far as I went with the short starter. Now I can push it by hand. It's a little difficult and I can feel it being gritty, but that's as far as she stopped. Let me show you where she should be setting on the powder charge. That's where she should be setting on the powder charge. I don't really know if anything's going to help this rifle out or not. Maybe I might just have to keep shooting Pyrodex. At least my homemade percussion caps are going off okay. I don't know where that one hit. I'm going to go get a close-up look at it and see. So I guess after this shot, I'm going to switch to my 10,000 patches. I adjusted the sights just a little bit more. Let's see what happens. This is one of the reasons why I don't compete with this gun. Hunting, it's not a problem, but at a rendezvous, it's too much of a problem. So far, my homemade percussion caps are working. That one there was one of the aluminum ones. I didn't feel any spray or anything on my hand at all. Not sure where that one landed, so I'm going to go get a close-up of it. All right, just to let you see. The first shot was right there. You can see the size of the .36 caliber hole. Then I moved this the point of aim with the rifle without moving the sights. The second shot was right there in the right side of the circle. Then I adjusted the rear sight, and that one went high. And then that was the last one. So I think I'm just about there. I'm going to take a few more shots, switch to a 10,000ths patch, and see what happens. So that 10,000ths patch did get down a whole lot easier. Again, this is one of the reasons why I just quit taking this gun to rendezvous and competing with it, just simply because it's too problematic to load. All right, let me get a couple more shots with the 10,000ths patches, and we'll see what my feelings are at that point. Well, that one hit just a hair below that one that was high that I shot a little earlier. That may have just been me and my point of aim. As you can see, the patches are just just disintegrating. But you know, that's the thing with thin patches. They do disintegrate, but if the bullet hits the point of impact, who really cares what the patches look like, right? All right, I'm going to keep going and see if the how long it takes before these 10,000ths patches start causing a problem. That other one was pretty easy to load. So in case you're interested, my homemade percussion caps that I'm shooting right now, they've got two of those bang caps placed on top of each other and black powder 4F on top of that, and it's my homemade black powder. All right, I'm going to go see where that one impacted. That one even shot a little higher, even a little further to the right. It cut the top of the plate. Oh well. Okay, I wanted to show you this. That's the short starter, and she stopped. Just to let you see that I am using patches that are not oversized. They're just barely a little larger than what the diameter of the barrel is. But she stopped solid right there, so I got to really work to get it past that point. And bear in mind, as I stated, I'm using my dirtiest of gunpowders that I actually have, as stated before. You can see that's pretty problematic. And it feels gritty going down. So I'm ready to make an assessment. Blue Thunder ain't gonna help this gun out. I'm not ready to give up on it yet, because what I'll do in the little amount of time, in another week or two from here, I'll take some of my cleaner burning gunpowder and then try it in this rifle and see if that makes a difference. So I'm going to get this one downrange, because you know, my accuracy is going to hell, it looks like, too. So I'm not too impressed with that, and this just may end up having to be one of them rifles that just has to be brushed out. In fact, I'll get this one down range, and then I'll brush it out and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, even the aluminum caps are now starting to spray me right here too, which is, again, just re-emphasizing, if you're a left-handed shooter shooting a right-handed gun, you can expect that to happen. Okay, that shot cut the outside of the plate to the right side of the plate. I brushed it, and I did go back to a 12 thousandths patch. It loaded the 12 thousandths patch relatively okay, but what I did do is I took one of the 12 thousandths patches and I made it into a wet patch. Blue Thunder's not the best tasting stuff around, but I just want to see what this does. So the two previous round balls, one hit right here, the other one hit right here. I brushed the gun out and I went back to the 12 thousandths patch, and that one hit right here. So obviously this is one of them guns that really needs to be cleaned after 3 or 4 shots, I would say. Okay, just to let you know, I went ahead and tried another 12 thousandths patch, and to be honest with you, I had to use a hammer to finish driving this ball down, and that's why I have a copper tube right here, because this isn't the first time I've experienced something like that with this rifle. All right, this will be my last shot because I'm pretty sure that ball's deformed by now. So there's that last shot right there. Again, like I said, this is the dirtiest homemade black powder that I have, and it's a blend of everything. So I'm going to clean the gun and assess what I want to do. Like I said before, this particular gun seemed to do a whole lot better with Pyrodex. Pistol powder, that is. And I can tell you right now, just from experience, any commercial made black powder with graphite on it's not going to help this gun at all. It's just simply not going to help. Alright, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you gleaned anything from this, I hope you give it a thumbs up and share it with your bestest of buds. And everybody have a good day. Bye.